Hello and welcome, all the viewers. Mikhail, Peace for All, Afwerki, Jabir Siraj, P.O. Boy, Trucking, Johannes, God is Love, Rihanna, Sabrina, Kristen, Nintendo, all of you welcome. Kibram, Mikonen, Manelik, JD, Ilyas, Evel, Tedros, Gemaskel. I'm starting to remember names of almost a lot of viewers now. Moses Berhe, Theodros Gebremichael, Avel Abdullahi, Queen Rosa, Abraham Alem, John Wonder, Salvatore Giuseppe. Nice to see you all. Nice to talk to you. Maran Tekle, Ruby is here. Ahfirom, Salvatore, Peace for All has joined. Mickey Gassikon, Timastjan Birhane, Kibrom Mikonen. Theo Birkot, Vinta Cross, Saged, Kalimo Melis, Birhane Misgabe. Timastjan is saying, don't give false information. You are trying to dismantle Ethiopia. Believe me, I am not against Ethiopia. I am just pointing out the fault lines which exist in Ethiopia, the fault lines which need to be bridged, viewers, the gaps which need to be bridged. I don't know why you accuse me of trying to undermine Ethiopia. I am a supporter of Ethiopian Federation. I am not a proponent of Ethiopian disintegration, viewers. I don't want Ethiopian breakup because Ethiopia's breakup will lead to instability in the entire Horn of Africa, viewers. So don't say that I want disintegration of Ethiopia. Ephraim Girmay is agreeing with me. Thank you. At least someone is there to agree to me. Mike 86. Rihanna is saying now Ethiopia is a failed state. Iaso, I appreciate your professional analysis. Thank you, Iaso. Beatles, I'm back for the stream. Thank you, Beetle. I think you missed one. I think the last one. Zerubbabel Zeram, Amare Casa, also one of my regular viewers. Ababia has joined. Mem Metros, Ababa Tarika, Coindos. So I was just saying that believe me, viewers, I am not a supporter of Ethiopian disintegration because I am covering almost the entire Horn now. And I know that there are disputes, border disputes, ethnic disputes in almost entire Horn. And if one country breaks up, believe me, shock waves will be spreading in the entire Horn of Africa. Several other countries will also disintegrate. That is why disintegration of Ethiopia could lead to larger instability in the Horn of Africa. That is why I personally support that Ethiopians should try to bridge their differences. They should try to come close. Ethnic fault lines should be bridged. That is my personal opinion. Victory is saying, I think you lack knowledge of what is happening on ground. You have empathy to Ethiopian unity. Firstly, Victory, let me tell you one thing. I have made 400 videos on just Tigray. Is there any Ethiopian journalist, any foreign journalist who has covered Tigray in such a detailed manner? I know what I'm talking about. Believe me, viewers, I know what I talk about. Yes, there are some limitations. It's not difficult to cover a war, any war. I mean, it's difficult. But most of the time, my sources are reliable, I believe, because I have covered this war much more than any other journalist in Ethiopia or abroad. You don't like my analysis when it's not in support of TDF. So it's because of your special love for TDF. It's very understandable for me. But my analysis is not based on wishful thinking. I cannot do that. I look at facts objectively, which some of you can't. Mostly people understand what I'm saying. They agree. They try to look at both sides of the picture. But some viewers become sometimes emotional viewers. Lulo Hyde, Birhane Gabre Gizabir, Sammy Halley, Christian Nintendo is agreeing with me. Mona Dasta thanking me for covering this war. Beatles, what will Eritrean government do now that Ethiopian admitted they kill civilians? Yes, Beatles. Please ask questions which should be answered, which I should answer. What will now Eritrea do now when Ethiopian government has said that Eritrean forces are involved in killing civilians in Aksum? Firstly, viewers, if you look at the official statement of the Ethiopian government, there is still some space for Eritrea to defend these allegations or Ethiopian claims. I mean, it is mentioned in Ethiopian government statement that civilians in Aksum, armed by TPLF, launched an attack on Eritrean forces. A day after this attack, Eritrean forces retaliated. They went door to door and they killed some civilians who were most probably combatants. Ethiopian government is saying that the civilians killed were combatants, most of them. So there is this space for Eritrean government to defend. Firstly. Secondly, it is being said that civilians were killed in Aksum due to shelling. Shelling has killed civilians in Humera as well, in Shere as well, in Makele as well. So it's not easy to prove that Eritrean forces killed people, civilians in shelling. I personally believe that there is some space left for Eritreans to defend against these allegations. And this report might have been prepared jointly by Eritreans and Ethiopians. Eritreans can handle much more pressure than Ethiopian government viewers because Eritrea is being controlled by a very strong man, a man who's been in power for more than 2 decades. So Isaias Afwerki can handle international pressure much more than Abiy can do. That is why this blame is being shared and most of it is being shifted towards Isaias, who can handle it more effectively than Abiy can do, I think. Brooke Zarihon, BB, don't you worry who said what's as long as you are reporting facts. Thank you, BB. Winter Cross, do you think that it is possible to think of a united Ethiopia when Ethiopia, she's asking about the possibility, she's saying that how can Ethiopia stay united after what is happening here? Yes, Winter, you're right. It's not easy to come close now after what has happened in Tigray. Yes, it's difficult. But there is no way out. I mean, this is the only way that you can come close is by forgetting what happened, by admitting mistakes, and by taking people to account who are responsible for atrocities in Tigray. There is no option for you. I mean, either people of Tigray, people of Oromia should go for independence, or Ethiopian government, Amharas, Tigrayans, Oromos, they should try to find some common ground. Some common ground is required for everyone in Ethiopia. That is the only solution. Winter, it's difficult. Yes, you're right. It's not easy. It will take maturity of your leaders, open-heartedness of your civilians, of your people. It's not easy, because hundreds, rather thousands, have been killed in Tigray and in other parts of Ethiopia as well. It's very difficult, but it's the only way to unity for Ethiopia. Victory, I have responded to your questions, to your first question. Now you can comment as many as you want. Johannes, for how many civilians do you think Eritrean troops killed? Well, if you talk about Axom, viewers, I would rely on the report published by Amnesty International, which issued a report in February. In that report, Amnesty International said that hundreds of civilians were killed in Axom. Thousands of civilians have been killed across Tigray, viewers, when such fierce fighting is underway, when air strikes are being carried out, artillery strikes are being carried out, collateral damage is always high. No matter how precise these strikes are, there are bound to be large number of civilian casualties. So there have been casualties everywhere, in Mekelle, in Axom, Shere, Humera. Everywhere there have been civilian casualties. Some incidents are coming under spotlight, but several others might surface in the coming days, coming months, or even coming years. Ming Hon, what do you think the security alliance? He's asking about Azerbaijan and Armenia. Ming Han, yes, I covered this conflict in detail in the past. Lately, there have been some issues. Reportedly, Azerbaijani soldiers crossed into Syonic province of Armenia, and Black Lake is the place which is apple of discord between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Up till now, Azerbaijani soldiers are inside Syonic province. Armenians have told them to withdraw, but they haven't so far. Armenia is trying to involve European countries through an agreement, a security pact signed between Europe and Armenia in the past. But the European body has not intervened practically so far. So deadlock is there. Azerbaijani soldiers are still in Syonic province of Armenia. Armenians are threatening them that they would take action against them. Both the sides have mobilized their forces. We have seen some scuffles as well, but no large-scale fighting has been seen so far in Syonic. Sammy Haley, do you think ethnic line federalism is helping or making things worse? Federalism is not a bad thing, but problem is with ethnic lines. When you divide a country along ethnic lines, when you divide a province, a state along ethnic lines, it has never emerged as a good experience. I mean, it's bound to create problems. So ethnicity matters, but yours light gone here. I think I'll have to cut short. I'll have to wrap up this live chat session here. Weather has been very erratic here. Thank you for joining. It was wonderful talking to you. I'm sorry I have to leave yours. See you. I'll try to be online tomorrow, viewers. Tomorrow we'll talk, and tomorrow I'll try to be with you in another live chat session. Thank you, viewers. Thank you. Light is back. Light is back. Strange things happening here. Strange things happening here. It's a miracle, says Beatles. Yes, it's a miracle. I think some forces want me to talk to you. That is why light is back, I think. Beatles says, Asayas is controlling your lights. Beatles, yes. Someone is controlling my lights here. Hiru is asking about updates on Sudan. Yes, I did a video yesterday, viewers. Yesterday, Sudanese media reported that there was a very heavy mobilization of Ethiopian forces from Bahirda towards Fashag al-Kubra, Fashag al-Sugra. But so far, we haven't seen fighting there. Reportedly, Ethiopia has sent very large convoys along Ethiopia-Sudan border near Abdul Rafe town, opposite to Katrant locality on Ethiopia side of the border. We have seen some heavy mobilization, but no fighting so far, viewers. Another important point, viewers, is about BG, which I talked about yesterday as well, that BG should not be neglected. Benishangul Gomez is the new battlefield because there some groups are trying to get close to Ethiopian dam site. Sudanese media is covering the conflict because Sudan is very close to those areas where fighting is underway. And Ethiopian media is totally silent on what's happening in Benishangul Gomez. I think this state needs special attention of Ethiopian media. A good thing, viewers, is a good development is that at last there is ceasefire between Israel and Gaza. More than 200 Palestinians have been killed, around a dozen Israelis killed. So at least one conflict has come to an end. We should hope and pray that Tigray is also, this conflict is solved, it's resolved, because no matter who wins or loses, people of Tigray are suffering, viewers. There is famine, there is hunger. You saw what happened in harvesting season, and there is shortage of food. Though I think humanitarian agencies now they have managed to reach quite considerable number of people in Tigray, but still there would be thousands who are in need of water, in need of food supplies. So we should pray that this conflict come to an end. We should not advocate more fighting. It will lead to more disaster in terms of humanitarian crisis. That is why conflict should be resolved, I think. Someone is suggesting a ceasefire to resolve Tigray conflict. Yes, you're right. Ceasefire is the first step. But when Ethiopian government has an edge, Ethiopian troops have an edge over TDF, They do not want to talk about ceasefire. And I think we won't see any ceasefire until Ethiopian federal forces and Eritrean forces have an advantage over TDF fighters. We'll only see call for ceasefire when TDF will start bouncing back. So if TDF keeps on losing ground, ENDF Eritrean forces will try to put more pressure upon them. EDF will try to completely destroy TDF. We won't see any ceasefire. That is why, from ceasefire perspective, I think TDF should bounce back a little. Some pressure must be exerted on ENDF and EDF. Then they might go for ceasefire. What is the next step of TDF? Someone is asking. Yeah, I have been saying for several days. The first and foremost step for TDF is to come out of pressure in central Tigray. I still stand by my words, viewers. I still stand by my words that TDF are under pressure in central Tigray. It does not mean that TDF have collapsed. Please, I'm repeating. TDF have not collapsed in central Tigray, but they are under immense pressure because Eritrean forces have succeeded in making inroads into central Tigray. So TDF are trying to fight back. You might see them bouncing back and advance towards eastern side of Tigray. We have seen some fighting on Tigray-Amhara border in Bora and Balanta views. Bora and Balanta are right on Tigray-Amhara border, southern Tigray and Amhara border views. We have seen some fighting there. TDF, first and foremost thing for them is somehow to counter this pressure being exerted by Eritrean and ENDF, then spread to the east or to the north. But north is being controlled by Eritrean forces because this entire road, Shirek, Som, Adwa, then area to the north of this road, they are being controlled by Eritrean forces. I think TDF might advance towards Hosen, towards A2 highway. That's the only way for them to come out of central Tigray. So they'll try to repel ENDF Eritrean attack. Then they would like to spread east, I think. Secret warrior, will Asayas leave Tigray without force? Important question. But who will force? Who will force Asayas? Which international force will come here in Tigray to force Eritreans out of Tigray? Do you think US will send its troops here? Do you think UN will send troops here? No one. No one is going to send troops here in Tigray. You can put pressure upon Eritrean government, upon Ethiopian government. I think Ethiopian government here be of help. Asayas is used to international pressure. You have seen, viewers, that he is ruling Eritrea with an iron hand. He won't give in to this pressure. But Abiy can give in. That is why we might see increased pressure upon Ethiopian government. And then Ethiopian government will tell Eritreans to leave Tigray. It might happen. Amarikasa is saying, it's our desire to stay in Ethiopian Federation. before this war, but how can we live after this war? Yes, this war has made things difficult for Ethiopian Federation. Yes, you are right. I agree that this war has weakened Ethiopia on so many fronts, viewers. I mean, if TDF are losing, or if ENDF are losing their assets, Ethiopia is losing. It means Ethiopian military assets are going down the drains. And political differences are reaching point of no return. Ethiopian international image is being tarnished. You are seeing protests by Tigrayans, by Amharas against each other in several countries of the world. So overall, this war has weakened Ethiopia. You have seen Ethiopian peacekeepers seeking asylum in Sudan. So international image of the country has been tarnished. It has been destroyed by this war. There must be some better sense. Better sense must prevail for the sake of Ethiopia, for the sake of Ethiopians. Yes, Beatles, I saw that Ethiopian politicians threatening to burn US flags. Hands Off Ethiopia campaign has been launched by Ethiopian government supporters, and they are saying to international community that you should not interfere in our internal matters. Tigray is not an internal matter of Ethiopia now, viewers. Eritrean forces are here. As I said earlier, breakup of Ethiopia will lead to breakup of the Horn. That is why world cannot sit just silent. But world is taking too long, I think. It's partly due to Israel-Palestine conflict, viewers, that for almost 2 weeks, world was focused on Israel-Palestine conflict. Tigray was pushed on the back burner. Now, when there is ceasefire in Israel-Palestine conflict, we might see renewed focus on Tigray conflict in the coming days. Someone is saying you have no idea about TDF. They are rotating 360 degrees around Tigray. Not now, yes. They have their presence, but now they're facing problems as well. Sometimes you people analyze on the basis of your wishful thinking. Stand your loyalty for your ethnic group. But analyze objectively. That's good to understand a situation. Do you think Israel will react if Sudan and Egypt attack Ethiopia? Israel is just out of a conflict. Don't expect anything from Israel, any direct involvement anywhere. It will take time for Israel to recover from Israel-Palestine conflict. Then there are internal issues in Israel as well. Benjamin Netanyahu, he is on trial on corruption charges, and he is about to leave. He could not form a government. Opposition has been set to form a government in the coming days. So there is political instability in Israel. Don't expect Israel to be part of any operation here in the Horn in coming weeks. Brooke is saying civilians are picking up arms to defend their families in Tigray. Yes, TDF do not have any shortage of fighters. People want to die for TDF, they want to fight for TDF. But these people need arms. These people need food supplies as well. So supply lines matter in wars, viewers. If you have thousands of fighters and you have no supplies, you have no arms, these thousands of fighters can be a burden for you. Yes, there is no shortage of fighters for TDF, but they need to keep their supply lines open. They need to have the flow of weapons. That is what they need. Imagine, you can see Eritreans, their supply lines from Eritrea to B30 highway to Central Tigray. They are open, they're flowing, but TDF is facing difficulties in having their supply lines in operation. That is why I'm saying they are under immense pressure. Someone is asking, why are you saying that Horn will be disturbed if uh, Tigray becomes independence, or if Ethiopia is disintegrated? Viewers, when we talk about Tigray's independence, only Tigray won't be independent. Oromia will also call for independence. We could see demands from other regions as well. So Ethiopia could disintegrate into several regions. We could see the same in Sudan. We have seen their Arab, non-Arab conflict. Somalia is very vulnerable. You see what's happening there. So that is why I'm saying this shock wave will spread into entire Horn. Other ethnic groups, they will also make similar demands, and you could see several countries in the Horn of Africa if Ethiopia broke up. Yours. Someone is asking about OLF, not OLF, OLA. OLF is gaining more territories. No, OLA has been a little in defensive mode over the past few days. We've seen that Ethiopian National Defense Forces launched an offensive in Western Oromia. Since then, OLA has been trying to consolidate its gains. We haven't seen considerable advance by OLA. But breaking news is that OLA has released 3 Chinese. Mandafro has joined, my buddy. Thank you for joining, Mandafro. OLA has released 3 Chinese miners who were taken into custody a few days ago. Today, OLA said that they have released the Chinese miners. Andrew Woodruff, oh my God, you have asked one question 6 times in a row. Eritrean soldiers deserting, leaving the zones wearing civilian clothes, and some going over to TDF explains significance of this please. Since I haven't seen any Eritrean soldiers joining TDF, I cannot describe what you are saying. Hinok Tisse, hi Hinok Tisse, Salvatore, what do you think if Eritrean military don't want to go out, even if they are sanctioned? Eritrea can be pushed out of Tigray through Ethiopia. That's my understanding, that Eritrea can be pushed out of Tigray through Ethiopia. Pressure will be exerted upon Ethiopian government, political pressure, economic pressure, sanction, whatever you say, and then Ethiopian government will make Eritrea leave Tigray. Is Abiy trying to blame the war crimes on Assayas? No, I think the Aksum massacre report, as I said earlier, it has left several loopholes. It has given a sort of space to Eritrea to defend itself against allegations of war crimes. I think they're on the same page, because if one falls, the other will also follow suit. They're on the same page. They're in the same boat. So there are no differences between them. Isaias, Abiy, they are on the same page. I think there are no differences between them. Someone is asking, why do you give this much cover for Tigray? Do you have personal interest? I have personal interest in covering armed conflicts. As I said in several previous videos, Tigray is not the first and the last conflict for me to report about. I have covered several in the past, and I'll cover several in the future as well. Armed conflicts, political conflicts, this is my area of work. So this is not the last conflict for me. Someone is asking, do you think ENDF can alone fight TDF? It's going to be very difficult for ENDF alone to take on TDF. The day Eritrean forces start leaving Tigray, you could see TDF bounce out of central Tigray. That is why Eritrean forces are here. Before starting their withdrawal, they want to inflict as many damage on TDF as they can. That is what they are doing. They have now deployed their entire strength in central Tigray. That is what they are doing. They are trying to weaken TDF because they know that TDF can spring back. TDF can bounce back. So they want to sort of destroy TDF. What matters for TDF is survival. TDF should survive until Eritreans leave Tigray. After that, TDF can counter ENDF. Mandafro is talking about 17-year war when TDF did not have supply lines open. Mandafro, can you compare that scenario with this scenario in which almost on all sides TDF are encircled? Amhara on one side, Afar on the other, Eritrea to the north. Then to the west there is again Amhara, Humera is being controlled by them. Sudan is hesitating to back TDF. TDF are being tested, believe me. Their supply lines are under immense pressure. You cannot compare this scenario with a past war. Viewers, 40 minutes have passed since we started this live chat session. Thank you for joining. Thank you for you. Hundreds of viewers today joined in this live chat session. Let me just sum up this session for you, viewers. When I say that TDF are under immense pressure, it does not mean that this war is over, that TDF have collapsed, that they have lost. No, viewers. Please watch my entire video whenever I upload a video. You just read a line, the title, and you make up your mind. Please watch the entire video. What I'm saying is that goings are tough for TDF. They are being tested because Eritreans have deployed their entire strength to crush TDF. Supply lines of TDF under immense pressure. under immense pressure. So they need to survive. They need to keep their supply lines open. They need to wait till the withdrawal of Eritrean forces. They have been weakened, TDF, just like ENDF have been weakened. Everyone has been weakened in this war, viewers. Eritreans, TDF, ENDF, everyone has suffered losses in this war. You cannot say that only ENDF suffered losses or that only TDF suffered losses. This war has led to losses for everyone in terms of material losses, in terms of their soldiers' losses. TDF are not as strong as they were when this war started, because they are facing so many rivals on so many fronts. Right now, the war is centered in central Tigray, where TDF want to survive, and from here they want to come out, they want to spread to the east of central Tigray towards A2 highway. Coming weeks are very critical, viewers. You would see more intense fighting in central Tigray. Eritreans are taking this battle as a do or die battle. They want to completely crush TDF. TDF have managed to survive so far, viewers. But it does not mean that this war is over. No, the war will go on. Thanks for watching, viewers. See you in the next live chat session.